Okay, so this Module 9 skills test is hopefully very interesting. You may wonder, how do we know so much about the interior of the Earth? Um, how do we explore it? And it turns out that we've not really drilled very far into the Earth. It's very difficult to drill into the Earth, and you can't get very far. Remember that the radius of the Earth is about 4,000 miles. Just to get from the surface to the center, about 4,000 miles. You could never come up with a drill bit that's that long, or any equipment that would drill to find out, to actually probe into the interior of the Earth. So how do we learn about the interior of the Earth? It turns out it's all about seismic waves, and that's why you've got a skill test that's going to help you to learn more about seismic waves. So first of all, there's a video entitled "What are seismic waves?" So I encourage you to watch that before you get into the part of the activity. And then essentially a lot of these are multiple choice questions, some basic wave terminology. You have to know things like amplitude, crest, wavelength, trough. You have to know the differences between P waves and S waves, and how the differences in those waves allow you to determine differences in the Earth's interior. And then finally, there is a little activity where you need to essentially explain some of the features. Notice you've got a couple of wells that are drilled, oil wells 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the first few pieces of data have been plotted for you. Notice you know the boundary between layers D and E for oil well 2, as well as oil well 1, oil well 2. And then you also know the boundary between layers E and F for oil well number 1, oil well number 2. You may want to print this out and do your cross-section, fill out the rest of the cross-section according to the data here. And then you're going to have to answer 2 questions. You'll have to explain some of the things you discover when you plot the data. So that's essentially it. So a video, some questions, and then a little activity that you may find it useful to actually print out the cross-section so you can fill it out and answer the final questions.